Hello, Randall in Hawaii, and also the guy I've been talking to in Phoenix. I haven't gotten your name yet. You have the Silverado pickup. I'll probably end up sending you this video. And to any other potential buyers that might be interested in the car, I'll have the video. I'll say that I have the video on my Craigslist ad. Anyway, this is 66 Fairlane 2-door hardtop, antique bronze, 15-inch steelies that match the color of the car. Poverty dog dish hubcaps, 15/8 I've been thinking back, 15.5s in front, 205/70 tire in front, 275/60 in back. This is a little video of the car. I'll walk around and show how nice it is. It's a pretty clean car. I just got finished looking at Search Tempest, and which is a search engine for Craigslist, and there's not a single car like this anywhere in the country. There's a white R code for sale for about 100 grand that has a similar vibe as this, but anyway. So here's the trim and the front grille and the bumper. You can see it's pretty nice. I'm going to walk down the side of it. I'll get the car started up here for you guys in a few minutes, and I'm going to do a walk around on it. It'll probably be a little tighter on the driver's side because I'm up against a fence here. So, but as you can see, it's a pretty straight car. The rear trim on it is nice. The bumpers, the rear bumper, the tail light lenses, the tail light housings, the emblems, the Fairlane emblems on it, the Ford lettering on the trunk lid, all the chrome around this, around the glass. The windows roll up and down very nicely. The rear ones roll up and down perfectly. The front ones, you know, you can use, it doesn't hurt to help them a little bit with your hand. Let me continue here on the walk around. Like I said, original color is antique bronze. Kind of step back here, you can see it a little bit. And then I will go along the side of it here. Oh, let me show you the sort of the, if you can see here on the trunk, as I've said in my Craigslist ad, there's a little bit of clear coat deterioration on the trunk and on the roof. I don't know how well those are going to be able to be seen here in the sun. I'll go around on the passenger side and try to show a little bit more of that. But the sides of it are pretty presentable, you know, pretty respectable. The car's not perfect. I had one guy that came to look at it, or his brother did, in the dark, and they didn't like it. They didn't think it was nice enough because they're looking for utter perfection, which is fine, but it was just kind of a waste of everyone's time. But this is a pretty straight, pretty nice, pretty fun car. I've had it for about 7 years, and the sun here is kind of hitting it weird, but it's a little better from the passenger side. I'll go ahead and stand here for a second so you can see it. I'll try to pop the hood here for a minute. I might just set the camera down for a minute and then open the hood, and I'll try to get it started. And that's pretty much the walk around on it. Let me walk up here and open the doors. I'll do that right now. Let's see here. Open up the passenger side door. The seat has been recovered. I got the correct upholstery from SMS Auto Fabrics. It cost me $300, and then I paid another $400 to an upholstery guy that I know at a shop down in Paramount, near about 10 or 15 miles east of LAX Airport, a place called Mustang Country. They have a really good upholstery guy, and so he was able to integrate the new cloth with the original vinyl, which is on the perimeter on the outside, you know, the perimeter of the seat. So you're looking at new cloth and original vinyl. The carpet is newish, not original. So there is that. Let me go ahead and try to come around here and get the car started. I could open the trunk. I have a few things in the trunk. You know, if anybody really wants to see photos of down inside the quarters, I could probably do that. But there's absolutely no daylight in the trunk, coming from the quarters up into the trunk. So it's definitely not, the car is absolutely not a rust bucket. I repeat, it is not a rust bucket. It may have a little patch repair underneath that I'm not even aware of, to be honest. But when I saw the car was originally sold new and, you know, basically in Wisconsin, and I bought it in Ohio, and I saw how solid it was, I was like, okay, it's close enough for me. So let me go ahead and get started up here. It's got a big lumpy cam, so it idles, you know, on the higher side. You know, it doesn't idle at 800 RPM in neutral. nor does it idle at 700 RPM in drive. What it does is it usually idles in neutral at around 11 to 1200 RPM, like it's kind of doing now, once it's warmed up. It's a little cold-blooded. You know, it doesn't have fuel injection, it's got a carburetor, so it's not going to run like a brand new Civic the second you turn the key. So, but right now it's idling about at 1,000. Sometimes it's a little higher depending on the ambient. Revs pretty good. It's got a nice lumpy cam. When you put it in gear, it, you know, has a tendency to kind of load up a little bit. So you can see right now it's about a little under 1,000 RPM. Sometimes a lot of times I drive the car with two feet. I have one on the brake and one on the gas pedal, you know, and I kind of stall it up just a little bit at a light. But if I'm at a longer light, I will often click it into neutral, like that. With this car's, with the very nice B&M shifter that it has. This is a ratcheting shifter, which means it doesn't have, you know, it doesn't have detents. It basically just ratchets back and forth. I'll demonstrate it right now. So that's neutral. That's reverse. That's park. So I'm back in park, idling at about 1200. Do another rev for you guys. So it's a pretty strong running car for a little small block. So here we go with the shifter again. So that's park, reverse, neutral, and again, it's like I say in the ad, it's a reverse manual valve body C4. That means it does not shift automatically. It doesn't have a clutch pedal, but it is not an automatic. It's a manual. It's a C4 automatic with a manual valve body. So the reverse manual valve body means there it is in neutral. You pull back for first, and then you pull back for second, and you pull back for third. And the purpose of that is to keep you from going into neutral if you're sort of making a pass down the track, if you happen to be out in the middle of nowhere doing a little late night, you know, like test and tune. So when you come to the light, you shift back to second, you shift back to first, and then you go into neutral with the little lockout there. And now I'm back in neutral. So I'm going to get out of the car now, I'm going to leave it running, and I'll pop the hood for you guys. And I'll also even try to do a walk around with it running. So let me do that right here. I might have to set the phone down here. 1 second. So there it is under the hood. 306 small block, cast iron dart heads, Anderson Ford Motorsport, hydraulic roller. You can look up the specs on the. It's an AFM N91. So the specs I believe are on. There's a site called Yellow Bullet, which is a real kind of a hardcore drag racing. You know, it's a forum for drag racing. So you can see under the hood here, it's got some nice parts, all MSD ignition, digital 6AL, MSD distributor, blaster coil. It has a serpentine front dress setup with just the pulley for the crank and the water pump. And the pulley grabs onto the water pump pulley, onto the alternator, I mean. And it's a very nice setup. It does not overheat. So there's that. Let me do another little walk around with the car running. I might even be able to rev it for you a little under the hood. But it's really much better to hear it from in the car. So I'm going to put the hood back down and do another walk around with the car running. Let me go ahead and close this door. And now that I think about it, you know, this is also possibly for Miles on Cars, my YouTube channel. Anyone that's looks at my channel knows I'm into lots of GMs and Fords, and this is my 66 Fairlane. I've had it for 7 years, and I love it very dearly, but I'm afraid I have to let it go with, you know, the usual life getting in the way. Anyway, back to potential buyers. Here it is running, idling. It's got a wonderful, fantastic, lumpy idle. It does not sound like a stock 289 two-barrel. It does not run like a stock 289 two-barrel. It runs like an S-Code 390 GTA car, like a 66.7 S-Code 390. As a matter of fact, it's faster than an S-Code 390. You have a stock 390, bring it. I'll run you. Let's get it on. But anyway, you can hear it idling. Little bitty small block. I've probably had 8 or 10 people say, is that a big block, like a 390 or a 427? No, it's not a big block. It's a small block. It's not a stroker. It's not a 347. It's not a 392. It's not a 408 Windsor. It's a short deck, 8.2-inch deck, small block. Standard bore 302 is what I'm told from a friend of mine that used to own the car in Ohio. He actually got in touch with me when he knew I had the car. And but I call it a 306 because it sounds a little more street racy. So, but you can hear it. It's got a really nice 2.5-inch exhaust system. It's got Christ headers. It has an X pipe in the exhaust system, and just all kinds of good stuff. So it's just a really fantastic car. If you're into 66, 67 Fairlanes, then you know this body style, you know these cars, you know what they're about, and you get it. And now this, as I've said before, this car is not stock. There's nothing. Somebody asked me, are there any matching numbers on it? I said no, nothing matches. There's not a single number on the car that matches, other than maybe the original door panels and the headliner. So, oh, it's starting to load up a little bit. Sometimes it doesn't idle with the big cam and everything. You know, it doesn't always idle perfectly all the time. So I'm going to go back in there and get a little bit more, rev it up just a tiny bit to get the idle. And then I'll maybe do one more, I might rev it one more time for you, but I don't want to piss off the neighbors. So, but anyway, it really has this really awesome, lumpy, wonderful idle at, you know, around 1,000 to 1,200 RPM. You know, it's as I said, it's not a stock 289 two-barrel. Oh, here's the gauges. There's where it usually runs in, you know, about 60-degree ambient. It's cruising at around 2,000–3,000 RPM. Its oil pressure is 60 pounds. You can see right there. It's got real good oil pressure. And I've never seen the gauge go over 200. The hottest that I ever saw was a little under 200 on about a 100-degree day, driving on Friday afternoon I-5 traffic through downtown LA down into Whittier to go to a cruise night at a place called Ruby's Diner. So anyway, I was going to maybe send this to some people, but I'll probably just post it on my YouTube channel and send those people the link. I hope you've enjoyed this. Anybody that ends up with this car will be really lucky. It's a really awesome car, and I'm a little saddened to see it go, but I have to try to hang on to my 69 Mustang, which I also will do a video on that sometime. You can see it in up there in my channel. There's a green Mustang going through a corner. That's my 69 Fastback. So I've had that car for 20 years. I've had this one for 7. I'm actually more into Fairlanes these days. I mean, I've had so many Mustangs, I've owned over 20 of them, that I'm actually more partial to these Fairlane hardtops. These are just really, really, really cool cars. So let me climb out here again. I'll do maybe another quick rock around for you. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it off, and I'll do another quick walk around for you guys. So, as I said, the upholstery, the front seat upholstery is fantastic. The guy did a wonderful job. I spent $700 on it. It was worth every dime. There's the back seat, which is original. I've had a couple people say to me, oh, I could take everyone for a ride. I can take my kids and my family and go out and drive. Oh, wonderful. I kind of wouldn't necessarily advise that, because the seat upholstery in the back is very delicate and very brittle. It's, you know, the original upholstery, and you might be able to see through the window here. It's, you know, sort of starting to deteriorate. So in any case, and whoever ends up with the car, please leave the CarCraft sticker on the back window. That would be my alma mater, where I worked for 7 years. 5 years on CarCraft. 7 years on Mustang Monthly. It's too bad there wasn't a Fairlane Monthly. I would have been a good editor for Fairlane Monthly. So anyway, I hope you all have enjoyed this, and I hope any potential buyer will enjoy the video, and any YouTube viewers that are into these early Fairlanes, you might learn something on them as well. Like I said, this is a 6-cylinder car, and now it's got a real nice hot small block. So I guess that's about all for now, and thanks for watching.